I do want to say right now, if you clicked on this video only to figure out how to solve the parity on the X2, then skip to this time right here that I'll put on screen whenever I'm editing. I don't know. So, but if you're here to learn how to solve the X2, then watch the whole video. So, yeah. Hello people of the internet. Welcome back to another tutorial solve. This video is going to be on the X2. So, I am one of the first tutorials that for this puzzle, and I am also going to show you parity, which I said in my last video, I think it was 3x3x2 video, I don't know, but most people were having trouble where they have only these two edges swapped. Like, that's the only thing that's swapped, everything else is solved. I will show you how to solve that because I did figure it out. And it's actually a lot more simple than you think. So, before I get into this, I just want to say, I expect you to, no, not really. I guess I expect you to have some knowledge on the X cube, mostly how to go about solving it, because it's very similar to this. And to be able to solve this, you'll need to know how to solve 3x3x2, 3x3, and edge pairing on the 5x5, as I explained in my last video. So, if you don't know how to solve the X cube, go look up a tutorial for that. Either watch the one that I put out yesterday, or just any of them. But as long as you know how to solve this, you'll be able to solve this. So let's get into scrambling, which you want to start by scrambling up these faces without shape shifting, so keeping it shaped when you're scrambling it. Now this puzzle is very loud, and it actually does turn very well, but it locks up if these aren't lined up very well. So, okay, once you've got a good scramble on that, you can start going into the shape shifting process. Okay, pretty good scramble. So, just like the normal X cube, you would start by getting it back to its original shape. So you'll have to solve like a 3x3. So here's the white center in there. So you can see it has the logo. So first thing I'm going to do, put that edge in, and that one, and it has a corner too. That's good. I want to put this edge, and basically I'm making the cross. Whoa, this puzzle is very flimsy. Put that edge in. You can do some F2L stuff if you want, or you can just use beginner's method by putting in these corners and these edges. I'm not going to go into much detail because you should already know how to solve an X cube to be able to do this one. This piece, I'll go more into detail when we get to the complicated stuff. Got this corner piece in, got that one in already. Here's the last one. Start up with its edge and put it in place. Okay, so you do have, if you have an odd amount of edges oriented correctly, then one of these second layer edges is flipped. So you'll just want to take it out. That's over here, and then you just want to move it back in place the other way. Sorry if I'm out of frame, this puzzle is really big. Also, I'm going to see if I can adjust this at all. There we go. Okay. So now we have an even amount of edges oriented correctly. So we can just do some basic OLL. The corners. Alright, so now we got it back to its proper X shape. So now what we can do is start by doing these inner layers like an X cube, I guess. I mean, it's more simple, but so first what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want to just pick a side, pick a layer, and then put two of the edges in place. So for example, I have a yellow here, so I'm gonna find a white and put it in its proper spot. So you have it there and there. So we'll turn these in, and then we're gonna wanna make these bars. So since this is green, the bars are gonna have orange and red. So I can see we have a yellow and red right here, which is the correct one. You're just gonna wanna look for the correct ones. And then we have this yellow edge right here, corner edge. This is an edge, these are corners. So we wanna pair that up. And then you wanna make sure that it's actually the correct one. So you have those two right there. So if you bring the yellow right here and put it in its spot, and then you turn that to where it matches, you can see that matches this center, so that is the correct one. So we can just take it back out for now and look for the red and white corner piece. There's one right here, but is it the correct one? So let's play around with it. No, it is not. That one's flipped one. So there's the other one right there. So you can turn it, put it in its spot, and there we go. We have this 1x3 bar created. Then make sure we have white here and then white here. Good. So you can just move it into place there. So now we have these two. So I can already see we have this orange one right here, and that's already in the correct spot. So, and I have that edge right there I can match it up with. I just need the white and orange, which is right here. So there we go. So now I made the other bar. Sorry if my hand's getting in the way. I made this other bar, so we can just, it's right here, you can just slide it into place. So, pretty simple, just like a normal X cube, almost, except a little bit more simplified. So the easiest way to go about doing this is probably to do the other side and then solve these like a 3x3x2. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. So I can see we have that yellow right there. And then the white is supposed to go here, so I'll bring its position down, put it in its place, and then move back up so we don't destroy this. So you got those two. So you can move those to the side. And then this should narrow it down to the last red and orange corners. So I can see the orange edges right here and the orange corners right here. So I'll move that out of the way, put its corresponding edge right here, and move back up. So now I want the orange and white, which is right here. So that is not going to work, so I'll have to rotate it to where it matches up correctly, and then I'll undo that. So now we have this bar. We can move it into its place to match up with these. Move it out of the way, and then move it back. So now we want the red. So here's the corner right here. So we're looking for the red center, or it's not a center, it's an edge. I always get them mixed up. So we have it right here, but we'll have to rotate this corner so we can actually work with it. So we got this red edge right here and this corner right here. Match it up, move it out of the way, and then undo setup moves. So now we need the white and red, which is right here. Should just simply do that. Sorry about that. People came home, so I took it downstairs so I'm not disturbed. Alright, where were we? So we had a bar made somewhere. It's on side that I don't remember where I put it. Where did I put it? It's somewhere. Oh, it's right here. Okay, got it. I'm blind. So, okay. So we got this bar. So we got to match it up here. So we bring its position down, put it in its place, and put it back up. There we go. We got that second layer. So that part's pretty intuitive. Again, it's like a normal X cube as of most of this solve. So next, the easiest way of doing this is probably doing these like a 3x3x2. You can also just like do this layer and then this layer and this layer and then solve this like a last layer on a 3x3x2. But it doesn't really matter. Any way works. So we'll start by putting our cross edges in. So that one's white. That one goes over here. That blue's placed in, and that orange is placed in, and that green's placed in. So we have all our cross edges. So then we want to put the corners in. Now how you figure that out is we have the green and yellow corner here goes next to the green and yellow centers. Now when you put this corner in, it's going to be flipped. So you want to make sure that the edge color and the corner color that are on the same face are the opposite colors. They're different colors. Opposite meaning these two. Green, yellow, not opposite, you know. So then we use cuboid algorithms for lots of cuboids to put this corner into here. And I forgot to note, our turns are 180 degrees. So we put this in by doing R, U, R, U prime, R. So that got that corner in. That one's placed in as well. This one is not. Actually, I think that... Okay, that one goes right into here. So R, U, R, U prime, R. So now we have this corner, which... See, this one, if it goes into here, will be flipped because these two are the same color. So it's not that corner, it's that one. So it's R, U prime, R. So there we go. So we have that layer done. Then you solve this one just like the last layer on a 3x3x2 or, yeah, 3x3x2. So we have no corners placed next to each other. We have no headlights, so we can do this algorithm from anywhere. It'll swap these two corners. It's R, U, R, D, R, U. Sorry, that D was a D prime. R, U prime, R, and then D, U, and then R. Good thing I get a second chance at that. So now we have headlights here. We put them on the left, and the two corners need to be swapped on the right. Same algorithm. R, U, R, D prime, R, U, R, U prime, R, U prime, D, R. Okay, so that solved the entire layer. However, you could have something like this, where you have these two edges need to be switched, and then the other layers are still solved though. So what you would do is you could either ignore it, because if you get parity on the outer layers as well, then it'll make it easy. But you could either ignore it, or you could just solve it right now by using the same one for the x cube, which is R, U2, R, 90-degree turns R's, U2, R, oh my god, U2, R, U2, R, U2, and that solves the parity, just like on a normal x cube. And then we can move on to the outer layers. Okay, so for the outer layers, this is where it's a lot like an x cube, because you'll want to place these bars in first. So I can see we have this, so we're looking for edges on top that are not white or yellow. I have 3 of them right here. So we have this one. This goes on the blue center because it's blue on this face. So blue is down here. We don't have any edges in, so we can just put that in and rotate it. So we got this green one out. That goes over here. This one has no edges in, so we can just bring it up and then move it into place. So next one, we have this green and orange. As you can see, we have an edge in on the green one. So we want to bring its position out, move it into its position, and then put it back in. And then you have that whole bar. So this one has no edges in, so you just put it in like that. Here's this orange and green one. We'll want to move it out of the way. This one already has an edge in, so bring its position out, put the edge in its position, and then put it back. So we have that one done. These two are not, though. I see no more edges on this layer. Oh, here's one right here. So that's the blue and red, which would go here and knock that one out. So bring its position up, put it in its place, and put it back. This one goes into here. It already has an edge in, so move it out of the way first. Bring its position out, put it in its position, and put it back. Now you want to remember to put these back in their places just by rotating them until it works. So you'll have it like this. You should have these 4 layers already solved and all of these bars across the centers. So next thing we want to do is, just like the x cube, we want to first, let's just make an edge. So whatever is most convenient. So I see we have these 2 white and orange corners. Ignore these 2 colors. We only go by the one that's on this face and whether it's white or yellow. So we have that there. There's the white and orange edge. So we'll want to have to rotate the corners to where when we do these slice moves, it'll match up on both sides. And then once we pair up the corner, not the corner, the bar, want to move it out of the way, put it into storage, and then undo your setup moves. So now we have 1 bar made. So since you did the white and orange, you're going to want to do the yellow, orange, yellow, red, white, and red. The ones that are on the red and the orange side, so we can solve them. So I can see we already have this pair right here, and the other corner's right here. So I want to rotate that to where it'll fit in nicely. And then we'll put it into storage. We'll knock this bar out of the way. Preserve it down here so we can move this back. and then undo our setup moves. So now we have those two bars in. So now we want to do the red. So I can see we have this here, white and red, and this white and red here, so we'll move that up. Move that into place, move it out of the way, and then undo the setup moves. I don't think that did anything. Okay. So now we have, here's the other corner right here, so we want to move this bar to the other side. And undo our setup moves. And then rotate this corner to where it'll fit. Move it into place. I guess I'll knock this edge out while I'm at it. So store it, undo setup moves, and then we have one more to go. So we have this here, and we have this corner right here. It's actually on a different face. So we can do that. Rotate the corner to where it'll fit. And then knock this edge out of the way so I can store it. The bar. Okay. Undo setup moves. So we have this, the last corner's right here. So we'll want to put it on this side. So we can just rotate the corner so it'll fit. And then put it in storage. Undo setup moves. So let's rotate these bars back to where they belong. The middle bars. Right here. Okay. And then it's just simply getting the bars in. Now I want to watch out that we don't mess these up, because if we just do this and then rotate them into place, it's going to ruin this. So what we'll actually want to do, let's actually move that back. So this one, this bar goes right here. So we'll bring its position down and rotate it over and put it back up. Now this one goes here, so we'll bring its position up, rotate it into place, and move it back down. So now these two are switched, so we'll just move them down, rotate them, and then move them back up. It's a very intuitive process. But so now we have these two done. Now we're on the last two layers. Now this is gonna solve exactly the same as a 3x3x2. So, and then I'll show you parity at the end, which everyone's been having a problem with. So we have this edge right here, and this edge. So bring its position up, put the edge in place, and put it back. So now we have our cross edges solved. This corner goes down here, same thing, R, U prime, R. This one goes into here, R, U prime, R. So we got this last one, R, U prime, R. I guess this is the last one. R, U prime, R. Again, just like a 3x3x2. So now we can move on to the corners. We have headlights right here, put them to the left, and we have these two need to be swapped, so we put them on the right. So it's R, U, R, D prime, R, U prime, R, U prime, D prime, or no, just D, and then R. Okay, looks like we don't have any parity, so we have a U perm, so that'll be solved with an opposite edge swap, which would swap the front one and the back one. So that's R, U2, R, U2, if I can get it, R. And then we have an adjacent edge swap, which is R, U, R, U, R, U2, R, U2, R, U, R, U prime, R. Sorry if it's going off frame a little bit. This puzzle's massive. So there we go. That is the X2, or X Cube Master. So, yeah, that's all there really is to it. However, there are 3 parity cases that you can get. Really only one if you don't ignore the parity on the inner layers. So yeah, I will get back to you with that. So if you ignore the parity when you're doing the inner layers, and you also get parity on the outer layers, you'll have something that looks like this. Like this. To where you need to swap these two and these two. That is basically the exact same parity as the X cube, just 2 layers deep. So you'll go R, U2, R, U2, R, U2, R, U2, R, U2. And then it solves that parity. So what if you get something like this, where you need just this edge and just this edge to swap? Now, I did say there are 3 parity cases, but if you have this parity case, it's basically, you basically want to turn it into the 3rd parity case that I'm about to show you. So there's really only 2, but what if you have something like this? If you do the parity algorithm 1 layer deep, if I can turn this thing, you can see you solve that, you swap those 2, but you notice something weird happens here. You cycled these 4 bars. But if you try and fix it, you'll basically end up with the parity again. So as far as I know, nothing of that sort can solve that parity when it comes down to the X-cube parity algorithms. However, I was playing around with this thing for a couple hours, and I have figured out how to solve this parity, and I'm about to show you now. So the 3rd parity case is basically the same thing, except it's only this edge and these 2 are solved. So you can also get that by ignoring the 1st parity, the inner layer parity, and get lucky enough to not get parity on the outer layers. But so you want to find a way to transfer this to the inner layer. And you'll do that by doing the normal X-cube parity algorithm 2 layers deep. 2, 3, 4, 5, which is RU2 5 times. So as you can see, you transferred it here and here. So I was playing around with it. Since it's a parity, you can't solve it just by doing cuboid algorithms. I mean, I guess, yeah, not really, because then it'll create a parity on the sides here. So what I basically did, you have this inner 3x3 that's fully functional. So you'll have to take it out to where you have to use the inner 3x3 to be able to solve this. So whenever I was playing around with the parity, and I always get it on this side, I would always do an H-perm to move the parity to this side and have these sides be solved. And I thought, what if I use that to my advantage? So doing this H-perm, I would define this as my M slice and this as my U slice. Now, doing the H-perm would swap this edge and this edge, this edge with this edge, and this edge with this edge. And I thought, if I figure out a way to have that edge be white, I could solve it. So I did that by bringing this piece up to here by doing a B2 and a B2. So now if I swap this edge with this edge, it would still be solved. So then you would just do an H perm with this as your M slice and this as your U slice, just that. So you would go M2, U, M2, U2, M2, U, and then M2. And then you would undo your setup moves with the B and the D2. So that solves that parity. It's really simple. You transfer the parity from the outer layer to the inner layer, then you bring this piece back here, do an H perm with just this as your U slice, and then undo your setup moves and you're done. It's really that simple. And so yeah, that's really what it is. That's all it is. So I hope that helped everybody understand that parity. And yeah, that concludes the tutorial for the X2 or X Cube Master, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope that helped. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer them. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned.